Good, you got it up?
Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. The people of Fall Creek are a true community, and we are all in this together as we work, learn, and succeed. Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. Go, go, go. Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. Go, go, go. Go Crickets!
We are on. Welcome back to the Go Cricket Show. We are really excited to see you today. There is all kinds of craziness for you today. We are really excited. Mr. LaPointe is here. Decision in his driving, a horrible decision. He wasn't paying attention. We hit a pothole. We were knocked off to the side. Herbie was destroyed. We thought that maybe, just maybe, we'd be able to get Herbie back up and running and get on our way. Herbie's gone.
Gone.
Isn't he? Herbie is gone. Isn't he, LaPointe?
There's no more love bug.
Herbie. It's Herbie. It's just Herbie. It's just Herbie.
Hey, Herbie deserves the love.
Herbie. It's just Herbie. And Herbie is gone.
Because you distracted.
I did not distract you. It was glare off my head. That's not my fault. Okay. So we have decided that there's a different mode of transportation that we've decided to take. And I think we're headed that way right now. Well, would you look at this?
This is a bad idea.
This is a hot air balloon.
It's a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea. It's a great idea. This is going to be fantastic. I'm really excited. Have you driven one of these before?
If we have an accident in this thing,
Well, you better pay attention. There's no sun up there. It's not sunny out today. It's going to be... What's the wind like today? What's the wind like? The points. The wind. This could be a problem. This could be a real problem. Have you driven or flown? I don't even know if you drive or fly. What do you do with these things? What is it called?
I like to think it's tethered.
It's tethered to the ground. It is not tethered to the ground. I think what we do is we get up in the air, we see where we're going, and then decide what's going to happen. And while we're flying, we'll let the kids watch the show. So, but we need to let's get into this bad boy.
Do we get mileage?
No, there's no mileage. There's no. It's as the crow flies, LaPointe.
It's as the wind blows.
This is gonna be great. Get it, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Oh my goodness, LaPointe! Look at this. It's the greatest place in the world. I've been here before.
You've been up here looking.
Well, yes, I was up here looking down. This is the same angle you get from the top of the spider thing on the playground.
I've never been up there.
I have. It's the same look. So here we are. We're flying over the greatest village in all the land. And we have some things that we want to get. This is really great up here.
There's no place I'd rather be.
There's no place I'd rather be.
Except on the ground.
We're not tethered. We're not tethered, LaPointe. And I think after 50 seconds, we're probably going to go around the same trip. So let's make sure we can get people to where they need to go. We have some morning announcements today. Morning announcements coming at you. Then what happens?
Weekly word challenge.
Oh, yes. And then there's some good, we have a little Cricket Food commercial. And then after that, I saw the preview. I'm very excited about
It's
it.
gonna get loud.
It's going to get really loud. Who's coming in?
Kids, don't have your listening device or whatever you're watching today up loud.
No, you're not going to want that. Blowing the ears out. We're not covering that.
I
All right?
realize you have to turn it up for him.
Whatever. That's not what this is all about. We have Mr. Jacobson coming back at you. What else we have after that?
That Jason Geo.
Chasing, finding that Geo Metro. We're going to make sure that we do that with the
Yeah.
geocaching. And then we got some mindfulness training. And then what's going on later?
Mackinets.
Coming at you. Mackinats coming at you. And then finally we got some cook time to make it all happen.
Yeah.
What a day. What a day. And look at this. Look at the beautiful area that we live in a beautiful space. This is almost like, I feel like I've been there before, but it feels old. It feels like it doesn't look really like it does now.
Are you talking about that
Yeah,
or me?
You never look better.
Because
Get us off of here. Go watch the show. Go watch the show, people. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Good morning, Bull Creek Elementary. Would you please rise and raise our nation's flag and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, I hope that you are doing awesome. We got some birthdays. We got a pile of birthdays. My goodness, do we have a lot of birthdays this week. What a great week for a birthday. Let's get it started in 4K. Finn has got a birthday. So does Brielle. And Jaden wrap up the 4K birthdays this week. Going to kindergarten. Nathan's got a birthday. So does Liv. And lastly, in kindergarten this week, it is Camry's birthday. Happy birthday, kindergartners this week. In first grade, Caston's got a birthday. So does Wesley. Followed by Vander. Happy birthday, first graders this week. I told you, we've got a pile of them. We've still got some more to go. Let's go up to fourth grade. Paige has got a birthday this week. In fifth grade, Reese has got a birthday. So does his twin brother, Sam. Go figure. Also in fifth grade, Owen's got a birthday. Braden's got a birthday. Woo! And last but certainly not least, we have got Drew with a birthday. Happy birthday to every single person this week. Well, I tell you what, we've got some jokes to get to. And as always, I am in need of some more jokes. I need them. I'm running low. This is good though. You've been sending me a lot. I've been doing a lot of jokes. Got a lot of jokes to get to today. So here we go. Let's start off with Bo in 5G. He gave us one last week. He actually gave me a lot of them, and I'm gonna keep reading them because they're funny. Goes a little something like this. What do peanut butter and jelly do around the campfire? They tell toast stories. I love it. Not ghost stories, but toast stories. Second joke comes from Braden, Mr. Anders' second grade class. What is Mickey Mouse's favorite sport? Mini golf. You know, like Mickey and Minnie Mouse, but mini golf.
Going back up the steps to 4th grade, Bryson from Mrs. Groan's class has got a joke. Why did the lion eat the clown? Because he tasted funny. The reason why I'm laughing at this, I had to confirm with Bryson. Why did the lion eat the clown, or why didn't the lion eat the clown? And he told me it was, why did the lion eat the clown? Because he tasted funny. I don't know, if something tastes funny, I'm not going to eat it. Going to 3rd grade here, Vinny from Mrs. Wathke's 3rd grade class. Why was the match yelling at everyone? Because his head was on fire. Yeah, I'd be yelling too. And lastly, from Leah in Mrs. Groan's 4th grade class, what do you call a dinosaur that doesn't take a bath? Of course, you call that a stinkosaurus. Thank you, everyone. I need jokes. If you got one, email it to me or find me on Google Hangout, send it to me that way. I'm going to go back to that transition screen just because I like to see it. There we go. Let's get it done the right way without Oh, I lost the transition. Oh, well. The riddle from last week came from Sage in Mrs. Dimmock's 3rd grade class. A couple of you got it right. A lot of you got it wrong, but a couple of you got it right. Went a little something like this. I have a little house in which I live all alone. It has no doors or windows, and if I want to go out, I must break through the wall. What am I? No, it was not a WWE wrestler. It was a chick in an egg. A chick in an egg. You got to break through that shell in order to escape. And this week's riddle comes from Elena in Miss Dugan's 2nd grade class. What is white with stripes all over? What is white with stripes all over? And as always, good is good, but great is better. And so I want you to definitely make it a great week. See you later, Fall Creek.
Hey Crickets, it's Mrs. Janke here, coming to you with your word of the week. The word this week is sunshine. We've been having a lot of that in our weather lately, so the challenge word is sunshine. See how many other words you can create using only the letters in the word sunshine. Good luck!
When you're at home doing online learning, you work up an appetite. You need good food to feed your brain and keep your body running right. So if the daily delivery of lunch or breakfast is what you're looking for, Fall Creek Food Service means to know she brings cricket food to your door. Cricket food. You need to change that.
Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Fun with Paper, the show where we have fun with paper. You've probably heard that there are two sides to every story, and that's usually true. In fact, lots of things have two sides, right? Like a coin has heads and tails, two sides. However, today I'm going to show you how to make something that has only one side out of paper. This is called a Mobius strip, and when I learned about these as a kid, I thought they were pretty fascinating. The good news is that it's really something that's easy to do at home, and something kind of interesting to try out. So the first thing that you do to make a Mobius strip is you just cut out a strip of paper, and it can be as large or as small as you want it to be. You don't want to make it too tiny or it'd be hard to work with. And if you make it as big as your driveway, well, it's going to be hard to work with too. So within reason. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make a ring out of this strip of paper. Usually when you make a ring out of paper, like if you're making paper chains, you'd bring the two ends together and you'd attach them like this, right? Now that is not a Mobius strip. What we're going to do to make a Mobius strip is we're going to take that strip of paper and we're going to bring it around like we're making a regular link in a paper chain. We're going to take one end of that paper strip and we're going to give it a half of a turn, a half of a twist, okay? And then once we've given it that half of a twist, we're going to tape these two ends together like this, all right? Now, it looks a little bit funny. It's kind of a twisty paper ring here. This is a Mobius strip, and you might be looking at it saying, well, what's the big deal about that? Well, here's the big deal about that, all right? Pretend you're an ant, okay? Not like the aunt and uncle type, like the little insect kind. And imagine that you're on this Mobius strip and you decide to take a little walk. So I'm going to take this pen and trace your path. So you start walking right here and you start walking around the strip and you're taking a nice little walk. And since you're an ant, you can stick to this thing even if it turns upside down, right? That's cool. And it's just a nice little path out in front of you here as you go take your walk. Oh, look, I just walked over a piece of tape. Okay, we keep on walking. We keep on walking over the Mobius strip here, okay, a little bit farther, and so on and so on. Now, I understand that this video at the moment probably doesn't seem all that interesting, but something cool is about to happen here. So, our little ant continues to walk this path around the Mobius strip here. Walk. Walk. Okay, walking. Wait a minute, didn't I go over that gap before? All right, walking around. Our ant, oh, and look at this. Our ant just got back to its starting point. Now that might not seem very surprising because if this was a regular paper ring and the ant walked all the way around it, it would eventually get back to the start. But here's the crazy thing, all right? I never lifted up the pen and went over to the other side of this, but if you look, I have now traced on both sides of this paper strip, meaning that the ant walked all the way around on both surfaces without ever jumping or walking around to the other side. And the reason that worked is because this thing only has one side, right? This surface eventually comes around, wraps around to meet the surface on the opposite side, which makes it all one surface. Now I know what you're thinking. Yeah, okay, big deal. So what? Well, here's another really cool thing that you can do with a Mobius strip, all right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut along that ant's walking path here. So I just kind of folded this down, made a little snip right here to get started, and then I'm going to take my scissors, I'm going to cut along the line that I drew, all right? Now, think about what's going to happen here. Make a prediction in your mind, all right? As I'm cutting along through the middle of this strip, now I'm almost back around to where I started here, okay? And I make my final little snip here. Now what do you think is going to happen? Check it out. If this was a normal paper ring, we would have just cut it into two smaller rings. That's not what happened at all, okay? What happened here is we actually cut it and we still have just one loop, which is now a brand new Mobius strip. So something fun to try, if you do this at home, is to draw the new ant's path all the way around and cut that one with the scissors to see what happens. All right, so check it out, try it out. I hope you have fun. This has been Fun with Paper. Hashtag Go Crickets.
Hey, Mr. LaPointe, can we get some tunes today?
You ready to rock and roll? Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some tunes. Hang on. Let's fire this up.
Holy cow, Miss Anders! Holy smokes, Mr. LaPointe, that was some music.
I guess we're done for the day.
Holy cow.
Hi Crickets, Happy 43 here again to take you on another geocache adventure today. And if you saw in my last video, we talked a little bit about the geocaching website, you know, a little bit about some of the things you can do online on your own to explore and learn about geocaching. So that's what this website is. And I have myself logged in here in that geo map that I showed you last time of the Eau Claire area. And what I want to do today for our geocaching adventure is to take you to a couple more little more difficult, challenging geocaches at Carson Park. So here's the Carson Park area, and the first cache I want to show you is the hide and seek beagles. And so remember, geocaches all have a difficulty rating of 1 to 5 and a terrain rating between 1 and 5. And so the higher and closer you get to 5, the harder. You know, it's a little sketchy. I probably shouldn't take really young people or people who can't, because it might be kind of hard for them to find this geocache. This one's called Hide and Seek Beagles. The hint is it's a beagle cache. Wouldn't help you anyways. Tell you I don't need to go down in one ledge. Oh, I'm going down a ledge. So this person, Hide and Seek Beagle, Ray's Family Beagle, really likes to hide hard geocaches. So let's go look at the live footage of me finding this geocache. This was a fun one to find. So here we go. see, I am down a cliff just a little bit. So again, you always got to be careful with geocaching and not wear your nicest of clothes because I am dirty climbing down there. And I took a little bit of time, but I found this really cool geocache. The coordinates are spot on, and I'm looking at a side of a rock, and I'm looking very carefully, and right here, see that? This is very well camouflaged, hidden. You can see the paper design in there, and then I'll put it back exactly where I found it, so the next person won't come across it by accident unless they're looking for it. And this is a really cool geocache. So geocaching can be lots of fun, kiddos. Okay, so as you can see, that is the really cool geocache. And I mean, it's hard to explain. I mean, I'm trying to show you with the video, but to actually go out and to find these geocaches is really, really satisfying, especially. This one took me a couple of tries. I did not go find it on the first try. I had to go check it out, and then I came back a little bit more, and I thought about it, and I read the hint again, and then I just went and spent some more time. And sometimes just going back on a different day is very helpful. There's one more in Carson Park that I want to show you. This is called And It's Good 3.0. This one's been a redo geocache. It's been placed in the same spot by the same geocacher, replaced, but maybe moved around a little bit. This one is a 3.5 and a 5. So it's a little bit hard to see, and the terrain is a 5. And I know where this one is. So this one I got a little skeptical about. Okay, I've been there before and found the previous ones. And I was kind of wondering why it's a 5, and then I learned why it is a 5. So here is And It's Good 3.0. Let me see if I can find it here in my footage. Oh, right next to the... Okay, crickets, I am at the And It's Good 3.0 geocache, and I can't show you around the location where I'm at very specifically because you'll know exactly where this geocache is, and that would be no fun for you to come and find this. It is a very interesting find, and I didn't film the whole walking up here because it took me a while to find it. And actually, I'm going to look up, and I don't know if you can see it, and hopefully the video works well, but there's a little black bison tube hanging in the tree up there. And so I'll leave the video on for you to see if you can spot it with your eye, and then I'm going to turn off the video because I have to get it down, take out the log that's in there, sign it, and put it back. And that's going to be my challenge. But they did say bring a tool of the trade. One of the tools of the trade for geocaching possibly is other branches and other types of, reaching things to help get stuff from up high. I'm pretty tall, but that's about 12 feet up in the air. So be careful when you're geocaching as well. Some of these geocaches, you have to be careful when you retrieve them. So, thank you. Okay, crickets, that one was a little bit, that footage wasn't the best. But what you saw way up high was kind of in the shadows, is a very small black bison tube that I had to put my my cell phone down and climb up the side of the fence and use a branch to get after it and sign it. So that's why that is a 5 terrain. So basically they're saying you're not going to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. You're going to have to be able to get some help or bring along other things to help you get it. So sometimes geocaching can be very tricky, so be careful. So that's why I always encourage people to look ahead before they go out and read the terrain and the difficulty, because if you are looking for something easy, you don't want to do all those all the time. So that's my geo adventure for today. So we're going to be done with Carson Park now. And next time I see you, I'm going to take you over to the Rod and Gut Park and show you a really cool geocache. And this one took me a little while to find as well, but I will show you. I went back there with the footage, and I'm going to and I refound it to show you exactly just how cool geocaching can be. So thank you very much. Go Crickets, and we'll see you guys soon.
You're getting it, Jen.
Hi guys, it's Miss Morrison here with another mindfulness moment for you all. And I'm here with my dog Daisy May, and we have been making a point to try and get outside as much as possible with this gorgeous weather that we have been having. So your mindfulness moment today is being brought to you from outside of my house. So today what we're going to do is a strategy that is called body tensing. And so it focuses on taking parts of your body like your hands or your abdominal muscles or your toes, different parts of your body, and just tightening them up really, really tight, squeezing really tight, and then releasing and doing some breathing. And that helps to regulate and calm your mind and get you focusing on something other than anything that could be going on in your life that's causing you stress or anger or frustration. It's a great strategy because you can do it when you are just standing next to someone and they wouldn't even realize it. You could take your hands and tighten them up in a fist or clench your teeth, and it goes unnoticed. So it's a great strategy to have in your pocket because it can be used anywhere. So today what we're going to do is we're going to start by using our hands, okay? So for 5 seconds at a time, we're gonna take your hands and you're gonna make fists and you're gonna clench them as tight as you can. And then when we release, we're gonna focus on our breathing, okay? So here we go. We're gonna start. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. And I want you to take 2 big deep breaths. All right, now we're gonna do the same thing, only we're gonna do it with our toes. So I want you to really, really tighten, crunch in your toes for 5 seconds, okay? Ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. We're gonna take 2 more big breaths, ready? And 1 more. All right, now I want you to really try and use your abdominal muscles. So right at the top of your stomach is your diaphragm, and I want you to really try and just tighten those up. Crunch, 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 crunch up your abdominal muscles, and we're gonna tighten those for 5 seconds. So ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and release. Now we're gonna take 2 more great big breaths. And 1 more. Now think about every time that you let go after you tensed up those muscles, how nice it felt to just let go of all that pent up anger or frustration or stress, and how those muscles just relaxed, it kind of melted away. So I want you to think about things that might be making you feel overwhelmed, or maybe a conversation that you had with someone lately that caused you to maybe be upset or confused. And then try and just do this tightening activity and let it go. Let all of your frustration go. So whatever it is that is causing you to be overwhelmed, I want you to imagine balling it up in your fist. And then when you release, you're letting go of it and allowing it not to bother you anymore. Because it's really important that we don't hold on and we don't push down our feelings of frustration or our feelings of being overwhelmed, because they'll eat away at us. It's really important to just let those things go as much as possible, or find an outlet. So this is a good strategy for you to have. I hope you can put it to use in the coming weeks. And that is all we have for you for today's mindfulness moment. I hope to see you next time. Daisy, can you say goodbye? Goodbye. We'll see you later.
Ruining your life with that garbage. All right, Mr. Sister, I want you to tell me, no, better yet, stand up and tell the class, what do you want to do with your life? I want to rock.
That's what we're talking about today. That was Twisted Sister, and we're talking about the Twisted Sister of Science. That's right, DNA. That's our lesson today. What is DNA? All right, so here's our vocab for the day. So write these words down. What you're going to do right now is pause the video and write these words down. Ready, set, pause. Okay, I'm glad you're back. All right, so now we're going to talk about the structure. You can come over here. We're going to talk about the structure of DNA. That's all we want, and we're going to simplify it. Okay, so where are we starting with? So, if we look in a cell, there is an organelle that is in charge of everything, and is called the nucleus. It's one of your vocab words. What's in the nucleus? The twisted sister of science is called DNA. And that's what we're going to talk about. What is DNA? We're going to look at the physical structure of it today. We're going to simplify it because this online learning is hard to begin with. So what does this look like? That's what we want. So we're going to make a drawing of this. If we could expand that, it's called double helix, and we'll talk about the history of this. And it's like a ladder that got twisted. Hence the name, Twisted Sister of Science. Okay, so we have a backbone right here, and this backbone is a phosphate and a sugar. You don't need to know that. What we're interested in is this right here, and these are called the base pairs. Okay, and we'll talk about this in a second. So to make this easier to understand, I'm going to straighten out our Twisted Sister of Science like this. Okay, and our rungs of the ladder look like this. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, is everybody with me so far? Okay, so when we talk about this, we've already talked about the 3 types of organic compounds, right? We've talked about lipids, which are fats. We've talked about carbohydrates, and we've talked about proteins. We've also talked about the calories involved in each. Do you remember how many calories in a lipid? 9! Carbohydrates, 4. Proteins, 4. Right. So the 4th one we didn't talk about yet. That's because we're waiting until now. Is called nucleic acids. Nucleic acids. Okay, so that's DNA and RNA, and that's what we're going to be talking about right now. Okay, so that is another organic compound. Now this is not what it looks like. This is a model. Remember what models are? Models are simplified representation of the real system. This is a lot easier to deal with learning than what it would actually look like. In fact, we're going to show you what DNA actually looks like when I get to my super secret science lab in Eau Claire. So, the nucleus is what? It's where the DNA is stored in the cell. DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Now you understand why we call it DNA. DNA. You don't have to call it deoxyribonucleic acid. That's too long. It is what carries our genetics. It's recipes for proteins. So when we talk about DNA, we're talking about recipes for proteins. And you, my friends, are proteins. You are a physical representation of the expression of those proteins. Where did you get your DNA? You got half from mom, half from dad. Okay. Now we're going to talk about base pairs. So if we look at the structure of a DNA molecule, this is a phosphate sugar chain. So we got a phosphate and then a sugar. Don't worry about it. We're just going to draw a line. Okay? So there's a phosphate sugar. But this right here, this is the interesting stuff. These are called the base pairs. Okay? And we have 4 types. We have adenosine. Okay, so we have adenosine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. You do not have to know those words. You just have to know the first letter. A, T, C, G. That's it.
About the different words, though the words are true.
All right, we are back with our Cook News Desk. Again, I've been saying it. Do I always do it? No. I try. I definitely try. Sunscreen. Really, really important. Okay? We look at, I got a 15, I got a 30, I got this 70. Okay, it's like a wet skin kids beach pool, more for the face. And then I have a whipped 50 babies, water resistant 80 minutes. Okay? So, what does all this mean? What sunscreen do I pick? Is my 15 good for me? Is the 30 right? Obviously, if I'm a baby, I'm going to be using baby stuff, a little stronger. But it also depends on your skin tone. Okay? What SPF means is sun protection factor. Okay? So, bottom line is any sunscreen is going to be better than no sunscreen. Okay? There's numbers as low as 4. Those are going to be reserved more for people who tend to not burn very easily. Okay? So if we look at our sun protection factor, basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this number, so let's say it's a 30, and that is good for people that it takes approximately 30 minutes to burn. Now, the crazy part about sun is that it does not hit our body consistently or the same all over, right? So my nose is going to get a lot more sun than per se under my arm here, right? So kind of like my elbow to basically my tricep, okay? Especially if I'm wearing a shirt. Now, my forearm's gonna get more, the top of my knees when I'm sitting get a lot of sun. If you're wearing sandals, your feet, if you have bare feet or sandals. But thinking about certain areas, and your ears are very, very, very exposed, and your neck, okay? So, when we look at 30 minutes, right, till I would burn, okay? So some of us are more fair-skinned than others, and that's okay. My son, he's about a year right now. He has very, 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 very pale skin, right? So I'm loading him up with this 50. I'm putting some of this on his face, right? I'm really making sure that he is safe, okay? For me, right, I could feel comfortable using the 15. Also, I'll use a 30, right? Especially on my face, because I don't like to get sunburn on my face, 1. And 2, if I'm outside a lot and it's sunny, I know it's gonna go that time frame is going to be there for me to get burned. Now, sunscreen is good though, by the way, right? So between the hours of 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., that's peak sun time. Okay? Which means if you are outside before 11 a.m., yeah, you can definitely put sunscreen on. But you're going to have a less risk factor of getting burned. Okay? So if it gets close to that 11 a.m. and you have not put sunscreen on and it's a sunny day and you plan on being outside for the next 4 hours, screen up. Right? So maybe you put it right outside before, or right on in your house before you go outside. I got a little station set up. So we usually screen up right when we get into the garage. Making sure that you know what parts of your body to do. Obviously, you can't reach it all, your back, those areas. But if you're wearing clothes or shirts and pants and those kinds of things, just do the areas that are exposed. And just think about reapplying. They say every 2 hours. Obviously, if I did it 7 in the morning and I haven't gone outside, it's not going to not be effective, but it hasn't been exposed to the sun per se. Okay? So sun protection obviously is related to exposure to the sun. At the end of the day, sunscreen is good. Any kind of sunscreen is better than no sunscreen. Finding the best one for you really depends on your skin tone, and then also the convenience, right? So there's actually spray sunscreen. This is whipped. There's spray sunscreen. You can just spray it on. This one, whoop. I'm running out here. I got to get some more. But so this one, look, it's just a stick. I can just apply it on, okay? So I got my nose, I got my cheeks, really high sun exposure areas. I'll grab my ears. Okay, and it helps moisturize the skin. And I like the smell too, so I can just rub it in a little bit. All right, so sunscreen. 50's pretty high. That's going to be a safer bet for people that are really fair skinned. All the way down to that number 4, which is going to be for someone who really tans easily, does not burn very often. Reapplication to the ears, face, neck more often than anywhere else. And just be aware if you roll over, you're doing some rotation stuff, trying to get sun, making sure that all those parts are going to be screened up at least a little bit, okay? Because you can still actually get tan with sunscreen on. It doesn't prevent all the sun from doing that, but it does prevent a lot, okay? And that's all I got for you today. Now we're going to move on. We're going to do some stretching, just a nice light stretch. Start our day, something we should do, and we'll get started here.
basic stretching for you. Have a great day, and I look forward to next time. Always keep moving.
Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. The people of Fall Creek are a true community, and we are all in this together as we work, learn, and succeed. Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. Go, go, go. Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. Go, go, go. Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. The people of Fall Creek are a true community, and we are all in this together as we work, learn, and succeed. Go Crickets, go, go Crickets, go. Go Crickets, go.